very welcome. Hope you're all good. We're going to get a little bit hippy dippy in our practice today, so we're working a lot with those hips. So just coming to find a comfortable seat to start, either coming into your Sukhasana pose, your cross-legged seat. Option also to come into your Siddhasana pose, just drawing the left or the right heel in towards the pubic bone and stacking that opposite leg in front. We're going to bring the backs, the wrists to rest on the knees today, and just bring the index finger and thumb together, coming into our chin mudra, bringing the palms of the hands outwards to face the front of the room. Just gently closing the eyes down, beginning to find that length in your spine, and just allowing yourself to take a few mindful breaths. Each exhale, allowing yourself to drop a little deeper into your body. Taking this time just to become a little bit more present with yourself. Checking in and asking yourself how you're feeling right now. How is your physical body feeling? Beginning to take some deeper breaths now, taking that breath all the way down to the belly, expanding out into the rib cage, all the way up into the upper chest, to the tips of the collarbones. And if it feels nice, you can sigh out through the mouth. Letting everything go on that exhale, taking 2 more breaths like this. Lovely, just allowing your breath now just to return to its normal rhythm. Keeping the eyes closed a little while longer. Taking this time to set a sankalpa, an intention for your practice. Noticing what brings you to your mat today. And then when you're ready, just gently beginning to blink the eyes open. We're going to start just by bringing the soles of the feet onto the floor and then just allowing the knees to fall out to the side. So you're bringing the soles of the feet together into our Baddha Konasana pose, our bound angle pose. Now there's a tendency in this pose to begin to slump into the lower back. So see if you can begin to lift up out of those hips, putting that nice length in the spine, drawing the shoulder blades down the back and finding that space in the chest. So just taking some nice deep breaths into the belly. Just noticing how those inner thighs are feeling. If it feels a little too intense, and just draw those heels further away from the body. If you want to make it a little bit more intense, you can begin to hinge at the hips and bring the elbows to rest on the inside of the shins. So you're adding a little bit more weight here. And then I want you to see if you can begin to open the soles of the feet as though they're pages of a book. So just beginning to work from the top of the foot all the way down towards the heel. Just gently encouraging the feet to open a little bit more. Keeping that connection with your belly breath, taking that breath deep down into the belly. Really important that we take these belly breaths when we're in these deeper poses. We're sending a message to our nervous system that the body is safe, allowing the muscles to relax a little bit more. Taking 2 more breaths here. Lovely. Next inhale, just gently beginning to come back to your upright spine, bringing the hands behind the outside of the knees, bringing the knees together. And then just giving the knees a little hug, just gently rocking from side to side. You can just release the forehead down towards the knees. Lovely. Bringing the legs out in front, giving them a little shake now. We're going to come into our fire log pose or square pose. So for this pose, we're going to bring that left shin so it's parallel to the top of the mat. and we're flexing that left foot, so pushing into that left heel. We're going to stack that right lower leg above the left. So you might have a space like I have between the knee and the ankle. If you've got a block or a cushion, feel free to place a block or a cushion there. Just lift up out of the hips. If this doesn't feel like it's accessible for you and the knee is all the way up here, you can just bring that right foot in front, shuffle that left foot forward. You're still pressing into the heel, so you're still trying to create this square shape, and you'll feel it a little bit in the hips there. I'm going to stay here for a couple of breaths. If you're in the full version of the pose, I'm going to encourage you to bring an elbow onto the knee and onto the ankle and begin to hinge forward at the hips. You're bringing a little bit more weight now into the pose. You'll be feeling it a little stronger on those hips, especially that right outer hip. Just taking 2 deep breaths here. Just taking these first few postures just to really notice how your hips are today. Lovely. And then on the inhale, slowly coming back to center. You're going to take that right knee now and just stack it over the left. So we're coming into Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Now, if that doesn't feel comfortable for the hips, feel free to bring that left leg straight in front, nice and active through the left foot, toes pointing up towards the sky. If not, you're staying in the full version of the pose, making sure you're on both sit bones nice and even here. We're going to inhale, fingertips to sky, palms facing forward, really pressing down into the sit bones, reach it up through the fingertips. And as you exhale, beginning to hinge at the hips, bringing the hands down towards the floor and allowing the forehead or the chin to rest on that upper knee. We'll take a couple of breaths here. So again, targeting those outer hips again, noticing any sensations you're experiencing in the hips. So we're starting the class with these yin style poses. They're quite deep poses for the joints, and just staying in them a little bit longer so we can get into that connective tissue. Taking 2 more breaths here. Lovely. As you inhale, slowly coming up to center, we're going to inhale, fingertips to sky again. And as you exhale, we're going to turn to our right. So we're coming into a seated twist now. You're bringing the back of that left arm to press into that right leg, bringing the right hand behind. The palms of the hands are facing outwards towards that right wall. Taking that breath deep into the belly. Lovely. On the exhale, slowly beginning to release all the way back to center, bringing the legs out in front, giving them a little shake. All that sequence on the other side now. So back into our fire log pose. That right shin is parallel to the edge of the mat. Right foot is flexed, pressing out through that right heel. And we're stacking that left lower leg on top. So again, if that doesn't feel accessible or doesn't feel comfortable, just releasing the feet down in front and slightly drawing them forwards. One side will feel different on the other. This side feels a lot tighter for me. Just noticing where you're at in the pose. If you're in the full version of fire log pose here, you can bring the elbows to rest on the knee and the ankle, bringing a little bit more sensation into those outer hips, especially the left one now. Taking 2 deep belly breaths here. Lovely. As you inhale, slowly coming back to your upright spine, you're going to slide that left knee now over the right knee into Gomukhasana. So you're drawing the heels back towards the hips. If that doesn't feel comfortable, then release that lower leg. So you're bringing that right leg to straighten now, pressing out through that right heel. Option to stay in Gomukhasana if that feels comfortable for you. We're going to inhale, fingertips to sky, palms facing towards the front of the room, finding that nice length in the spine. And as you exhale, hinging at the hips, bringing the hands down towards the earth, and either resting the forehead or the chin onto the knee. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Just tuning into that left outer hip now, noticing how it's feeling. Nice, deep, expansive breaths. Lovely. Next inhale, going to slowly come back to center. Inhale, fingertips back to sky, palms facing towards each other this time. And as you exhale, you're turning to your left. So you're using that right arm to press against that left leg, bringing that left hand behind. Palms are facing away from the body. We'll take 2 deep belly breaths here. Lovely. On the exhale, you're releasing back to center, bringing the legs out in front, giving them a little shake. And then when you're ready, we're going to make our way into our tabletop. Coming onto all fours, bringing wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. As we inhale, we're going to release the belly down, draw chin to sky. And as you exhale, draw chin to chest, navel to spine. So just taking a couple of cat-cows here. Mainly working with the hips today. Just nice just to ease out the spine. Lovely. When you're ready, we're going to come back to our tabletop. Tuck the toes under and push up into our first downward facing dog. Just taking a few little pedals out through the feet. And then I'm going to encourage you to straighten that left leg as you bend the right knee. And we're going to hold here. The left leg is straight, you're drawing that left heel down towards the earth, feeling that nice stretch at the back of the left calf muscle, the left hamstrings. And you're just bending that right knee on the ball of that right foot, keeping that gaze back between the feet. So keeping the neck nice and relaxed here. Lovely. As you exhale, you're going to straighten that right leg, bringing that right heel down to the earth as you bend that left knee. Feeling that nice stretch now in the back of the right leg. Keeping your connection with your breath. Lovely. As you exhale, you're going to straighten that left leg now. So both legs are straight. And as you inhale, you're going to come all the way up onto the tiptoes. So you're pressing a little weight now into the palms of the hands, lifting the hips nice and high. And as you exhale, you're going to push back, nice deep bend into the knees. See if you can bring your torso back towards those upper thighs. So you're really feeling that nice length in the spine. Give that one more time. Inhale to straighten the legs. Come all the way up onto the tippy toes. Pressing a little bit more weight into the hands. And as you exhale, you're pushing back. Nice deep bend into the knees. Bringing that torso back towards the upper thighs. Now see if you can keep that length in the spine and drop the heels down towards the earth. Taking a nice deep inhale through the nose, sighing out through the mouth. Next inhale, we're lifting right foot to sky, bending right knee and stepping right foot through. Coming into our lower lunge, releasing that left knee down, staying on the fingertips, you're going to draw the chest through, lift the gaze. 2 deep belly breaths here. As you inhale, we're going to sweep fingertips to sky, bringing those arms alongside the ears, palms facing towards each other. Nice side body stretch as we stretch out that left hip flexor. Lovely. As you exhale, you're releasing the hands down the inside of that right foot, walking that right foot out to the very edge of the mat. So you're into your dragon pose here. Stay on the palms of the hands for this first one. Keeping the gaze down at the top of the mat, so the neck is nice and relaxed. Taking a couple of breaths into the belly and just noticing how that right hip is feeling. From here, we're going to come into our wing dragon. So keeping that left hand on the floor, right hand onto right knee, you're pushing that right knee away. So you're now on the outside edge of that right foot. You're going to draw that right shoulder back and down, bring your gaze up to the sky. So this is your wing dragon. So it's a deeper hip opener, and we're getting an even more intense stretch on that left hip flexor that runs over the front of that left hip. We'll take 2 breaths here. Lovely. On the inhale, going to come back to center, release the foot down, back into the center. You're framing that foot. And then you're going to lift that left knee. So you've got the ball of the foot that you're resting into on that left foot. So you're coming into your high lunge here. We're going to come into Skandasana pose. So what you're going to do is come onto that right heel, lift the right ball of the foot, and you're pivoting that right foot in so that it's parallel to the right side of the mat. Now with that right arm, you're pressing it onto the inside of that right leg to help you with your balance. Left leg is straight, left heel is grounded, toes pointing up to the sky. If your balance is okay, you're going to bring your fingertips up towards the ceiling and bring your gaze towards that left thumb. This is called our Skandasana pose. Deep hip opening pose. Taking that breath into the belly. As you exhale, you're going to bring that left hand down to the floor and we're going to sweep the hands over to the left side of the mat. My knees crack a lot, so bringing that left arm onto the inside of that left knee. On that right heel now, foot is nice and active. If your balance isn't there, you can keep your hands on the floor, okay? It's quite a tricky pose. You'll notice that my heel is lifted. Some people, depending on their hip joint, will have the whole of the foot down on the earth. So it's different for everyone. If your balance is there, bring your right fingertips to sky. Bring your gaze to that right thumb. Nice deep belly breaths. Lovely. As you exhale, bringing that right hand down to the floor, you're going to sweep all the way back to the top of the mat. So you're coming back into your high lunge now, framing that front foot. You're going to bring the hands down onto the floor, sweep that right leg to sky, three-legged dog, and then you're going to bend that right knee and open the right hip. So you're bringing your gaze now underneath that right armpit, pressing evenly into both hands. Lovely. As you exhale, you're going to release that right foot down, so you're back into your downward facing dog. Bringing your gaze towards the hands. You can step, hop or jump to the top of your mat, coming into your forward fold. As you inhale, coming into your half lift. Either fingertips on the earth or hands on the shins. Taking a breath here. As you exhale, releasing all the way down into your forward fold. We're going to inhale to sweep fingertips to the sky. Palms of the hands together, exhale down to our heart center. Taking 2 grounding breaths here. Feels nice, just closing the eyes down. Dropping that awareness down into the soles of the feet. Lovely. Next inhale, you're going to bring fingertips all the way to sky. Exhale down into your forward fold, knees bent. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. The option to step back or jump back. If you're jumping back, you're just going to lift the hips and come back into your high plank. So keeping those hips in line with the body. As you exhale, we're going to release the knees down. Bend the elbows, chin and chest down to the floor. Coming up into your baby cobra or coming a little bit higher here. So everyone will have their own version of their vinyasa in between our standing sequences. So just stick to what feels comfortable for your body. Tucking the toes under, we're going to push all the way back into your downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths here now. Lovely. Next inhale, you're lifting that left foot to sky, three-legged dog. Bending that left knee and stepping that left foot through. Coming into your low lunge, keeping fingertips on the earth. Drawing the chest through, lifting the gaze. Getting a nice stretch on that right hip flexor. Nice deep belly breaths here. We're going to ground that right hand onto, no we're not, we're going to inhale to sweep fingertips to sky, bringing the arms alongside the ears, palms facing towards each other. Really find that nice side body stretch. As you exhale, then you're going to bring the hands down the inside of that left foot. You're stepping that left foot out to the very edge of the mat for your dragon pose. So we still have the knee over the ankle. Hands are on the inside. So you can just move the hands so that the wrists are underneath the shoulders. So the shoulders are nice and supported here. Taking some nice deep belly breaths. Just getting a little deeper into those hips now. Lovely. We're going to keep that right hand on the floor. Bring that left hand to the left knee, and you're pushing that left knee away. So again, you're on the outside edge of that left foot. Drawing that left shoulder back and down. Bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. So nice deep spinal twist here. We're opening that left hip, and we're stretching that right hip flexor. Nice deep belly breaths. Lovely. As you exhale, you're coming back to center, stepping that foot into the center, tucking the toes under on the back foot. So you're coming into your high lunge here. Coming into our tricky transition of Skandasana. You're going to lift the ball of that left foot, pivot on the heel, turn that left foot in, so toes are pointing to the long edge of the mat. We're going to bring right fingertips to sky if your balance is there. So right leg extended. It really makes such a difference if you can keep that left arm pushing onto the inside of that left leg. Really helps with your balance. Lovely. As you exhale, you're bringing right hand down to the floor. Going to sweep across now to the right side of the mat. Right arm comes on the inside of that right knee. Left fingertips to sky. Nice deep belly breaths. Lovely. We're going to exhale that left hand down, sweeping all the way to the top of the mat. You're coming back into your high lunge here, keeping that right leg, right knee lifted. As you inhale, you're sweeping left foot to sky. Three-legged dog, bending that left knee, opening that left hip. Bringing that gaze underneath the left armpit. Lovely. Keeping that left knee bent, you're going to come back to center. Bring that left foot down to the floor. So you're back into your downward facing dog here. Now bringing your gaze up towards the hands, you can step, hop or jump to the top of your mat into your forward fold. Inhaling, half lift. Exhaling, forward fold. We're going to inhale to sweep fingertips to sky, palms of the hands together. Exhale down to heart center, taking 2 grounding breaths here. Lovely. As you inhale, we're going to sweep fingertips back to sky. Exhale down into your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Option to step back into your plank or to jump back into your plank. It's hard to talk when you do that at the same time. Keeping those hips in line with the body. We're going to release the knees down. Bend the elbows, keeping the elbows tucked into the rib cage. Coming into your baby cobra or your high cobra. Keeping those elbows away from the ears. And then tucking the toes under, pushing all the way back into your downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths here. If you need to rest in your child's pose, taking the rest. So we're going to come back to that same sequence. We're going to build a little bit on it. So when you're ready, coming back into your downward facing dog. Next inhale, we're sweeping right foot to sky, bending right knee and stepping right foot through. Releasing the left knee down, you're into your low lunge, drawing the chest through, lifting the gaze. As you inhale, we're sweeping fingertips to sky. And as you exhale, bringing the hands down on the inside of that right foot. Coming into your dragon pose. We'll take a couple of breaths here. If you want to come a little deeper, you can bring the forearms down onto a block or onto the mat. Making sure that right foot isn't lifted. If the right foot is lifted, then come back onto the palms of the hands. Keeping your connection with your breath. Lovely. When you're ready, coming back onto the palms of the hands, keeping the left hand on the floor, you're bringing that right hand to the right knee, pushing that right knee away, coming into your winged dragon. Option to stay here, or you can bend that left knee, lifting up that left lower leg, taking the right arm back to take hold of the foot. No force in here if the hand doesn't come back, and you can just allow the hand to stay on the knee. Lovely. As you exhale, releasing that left leg down. Walking that right foot back into the center. You're lifting that left knee, high lunge. Coming into our tricky transition, we're lifting the ball of that right foot. Pivoting on the heel. Bringing the right arm onto the inside of that right knee. Skandasana pose. Bring your gaze up to that left thumb, keeping your connection with your belly breath. As you exhale, bringing the left hand down to the floor. Sweeping over to the left side now. We're on the ball of that left foot, the heel of the right foot. Deep belly breath. Lovely. A bit of a change now. We're going to bring that right hand down and we're going to come up into our forward fold. Just keeping the legs nice and wide. Fingertips on the earth. Keeping that gaze between the legs. Take a couple of breaths here. Lovely. As you inhale, going to come up onto the fingertips, find that length in the spine. And as you exhale, release that down into your forward fold. Hands on hips, you're going to slowly come all the way back to center. And then we're going to turn the heels in so the toes are pointing out towards the corners of the mat. Coming into our goddess pose. So we're going to bring fingertips to sky. Interlace the fingers, pointing up through the index finger. Nice side body stretch. I want you to imagine you've got that wall behind you. And as you exhale, bringing your prayer hands to the heart center, you're going to slide your back body down that wall. So you're really pressing into the heels here. You should be able to lift the toes. Lovely. We're going to inhale all the way back to center. Arms alongside the ears. We're doing that 2 more times. Exhaling to bend the knees. Keeping the spine nice and straight. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling back down into your goddess pose. Lovely. We're going to release the hands down to the floor now. Just scissor the feet in towards each other. And we're going to come into our squat pose, Malasana. So bringing the elbows onto the insides of the knees. Now I always find squat pose really challenging. You'll see that my heels are lifted. So again, it depends on your hip structure and your ankle bone structure. So if your feet come down to the floor, then that's great. If they don't, it's just as great. So just pushing those elbows into the insides of the knees. Take another breath here. Lovely. As you exhale, you're going to bring that right hand down onto the floor. And we're going to inhale, left fingertips to the sky. Really pushing that right arm into the inside of that right knee. Exhaling, left hand down. Push it into that left knee. Right fingertips to sky. Exhaling that right hand down, and then we're going to push up into our forward fold. Nice generous bend in the knees, keeping that gaze back between the legs. Taking a breath here. Lovely. As you inhale, coming into your half lift, finding that length in the spine. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale to sweep fingertips all the way to sky. Palms of the hands together down to heart center. Taking 2 grounding breaths here. Lovely. Releasing the arms alongside the body. And then when you're ready, coming back to step at the very top of your mat again. We're going to inhale, fingertips to sky. Exhale, forward fold, knees bent. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Option to step back into your plank or to jump. Keeping those hips in line with the body. And then coming through your vinyasa. Your own version at your own pace. Lovely. Keeping a couple of breaths here. We're going to do that same sequence now on the left side. So inhaling left foot to sky. Bend that left knee, step that left foot through. Low lunge, keeping fingertips on the earth, drawing the chest through, lifting the gaze. As we inhale, we're going to sweep fingertips to sky. Find that side body stretch. And as you exhale, releasing the hands down on the inside of that left foot. Walking that left foot out to the edge into your dragon pose. Option to stay here on the palms of the hands or come a little bit deeper, coming onto the forearms, into your block or onto the mat. So noticing one side might feel a little tighter than the other. We'll take 2 breaths here. Lovely. When you're ready, coming back up onto the palms of the hands. Keeping that right hand on the floor, you're going to bring that left hand onto the left knee. Push that left knee away. So into your wing dragon here, opening that left hip. Option to stay here, or you can bend that right knee, lifting the right lower leg and taking hold of that right foot. So a big stretch here for that right hip flexor. Lovely. As you exhale, releasing that right foot down. Walking that left foot back into the center. You're pushing up into your high lunge here. We're going to come onto the heel of that left foot. Turn it inwards to our Skandasana pose. There goes my knee crack. And right fingertips to sky. Taking a breath into the belly. Lovely. Exhaling that right hand down. We're coming over to the right now. Pushing that right arm onto the inside of the right knee. Left fingertips to sky. Deep belly breath. Lovely. Exhaling that left hand down. We're coming into the center, into our wide-legged forward fold. So have the toes slightly turned in towards each other. Heels are wider than the big toes. Keeping the hands on the floor, just allowing the head to be nice and heavy here. We'll take a couple of breaths in our wide-legged forward fold. Next inhale, we're going to come up onto the fingertips, into our half lift, finding that length in the spine. Lovely. As you exhale, releasing back down into your forward fold, bringing the hands onto the hips. And as you inhale, slowly coming all the way back to center. We're going to turn the heels in now, so the toes are pointing out towards the corners of the room. Inhale to bring fingertips to sky, palms of the hands together. Nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, you're sliding your back down that imaginary wall, coming into your goddess pose. Really lifting the toes here. Inhaling to push all the way back to center. We're doing that 2 more times. Exhaling, goddess pose. Lovely. Inhaling back to center. One last time, coming all the way down. Taking a breath here. And then we're going to release the hands down onto the floor. We're going to just scissor the feet in a little closer. Coming back into our Malasana. Both knees went at the same time then. I've always had that since I was a teenager. Lovely. So just pressing the elbows onto the insides of the knees here. Noticing how those hips are. They're feeling a little bit more open now. Taking that breath into the belly. Lovely. As you exhale, bringing that right hand down onto the floor, we're going to inhale, left fingertips to sky, Malasana twist. Exhaling, left hand down. Inhaling, right fingertips to sky. Lovely. Exhaling that right hand down. And then we're going to press up into our forward fold. So bringing the feet hip distance apart. Nice generous bend in the knees here. We're going to inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Going to inhale to bring fingertips all the way to sky. Palms of the hands together. Exhale down to heart center. Taking 2 grounding breaths here. Really connecting through the soles of the feet into the earth. When you're ready, releasing the arms alongside the body. Coming back to stand at the top of your mat. We're going to make our way down onto our mats now. We're going to inhale, fingertips to sky. Exhale, forward fold, knees bent. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Option to step back into your plank or to jump back. And then slowly coming through your vinyasa. Your own version, your own pace. Once you come back into your down dog, taking any last movements or stretches that feel good for your body here. And then when you're ready, you're going to release down into your wide-legged child's pose. So knees out really wide, big toes together, pressing the hips back over the heels. We're going to come into a child's pose twist. So you're bringing the back of that right hand onto the floor, sliding it underneath that left armpit, and bringing the right side of the head to rest down on the ground. Gently closing the eyes down here. We'll stay here for a few breaths. So just slowing our practice down now. We're still going to be working with those hip openers. We're doing our floor-based postures. Lovely. Next inhale, just lifting the head, bringing that right hand out in front, and then taking the back of that left hand onto the floor and threading it underneath that right armpit now. Resting on the left side of the head. Just allowing the upper body just to grow nice and heavy. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, just beginning to lift the head, bringing the hands out in front. And we're going to bring the knees together now. So coming into our more restful child's pose, bringing the arms alongside the body, bringing the forehead down to the earth. Just allowing those shoulders just to roll away to the sides. Maybe even just gently turning the head from side to side. Just massaging the forehead and the neck. Just taking 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, just lifting the forehead, coming back to sit on the heels, and you're going to slowly make your way down onto your back body now. So keeping the knees bent, you're going to release the back body all the way down onto the floor. Lovely. Feet are hip distance apart, just allowing the soles of the feet to ground into the earth. Allowing the pelvis, the hips to grow nice and heavy. And just releasing the shoulders. Lovely. Next inhale, we're going to lift that left foot to sky. Interlace the fingers at the back of that left thigh. You can option to keep that right knee bent, or you can lengthen and straighten out through that right leg, drawing that right heel to rest into the earth. Next inhale, we're going to bring the forehead up towards that left knee. Option to stay here, or you can walk the hands up towards that left ankle. Keeping the gaze to the knee or straight ahead so you're not craning the neck to look up at the foot. Nice deep belly breaths. As you exhale, just walking the hands all the way back down, releasing the head down, the shoulders, bending that right knee and bringing that right foot back onto the earth. We're going to come into our half happy baby pose here. So you're bending that left knee, taking hold of the outside edge of that left foot, or maybe you're taking hold of the outside of the ankle. Or if you have a yoga strap, you can use a yoga strap. We're drawing that left knee down towards that left armpit. Nice deep hip opening pose. Taking 2 breaths here, deep into the belly. And then when you're ready, just bringing that left ankle to rest on the right knee, coming into our eye of the needle pose. As you inhale, going to lift that right foot, interlace the fingers at the back of that right thigh, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. If you feel you've done a lot of hip opening tonight and your hips are feeling nice and open, you might be able to bring the hands and interlace the fingers at the front of that right shin. I'll just take a couple of breaths here. As you exhale, you're going to release the hands, bring the right foot down, keeping the legs as they are, bringing that right hand to the left knee and drawing it across the body, coming into your lying down twist, bringing that left arm out in line with the left shoulder, and your gaze towards that left hand, and just allowing your body just to surrender into this pose. Just taking another breath here. And when you're ready, coming all the way back to center, releasing that left foot down onto the floor, so both knees are bent again now. We're going to inhale to lift that right foot and interlace the fingers at the back of that right thigh. Option to keep that left knee bent, or you can straighten out to that left leg, anchoring that left heel into the earth. You can stay here, or you can begin to draw the forehead towards that right knee and walk the hands up towards that right ankle. So keep that gaze ahead so that you're not really craning the neck here. Nice deep belly breaths. Lovely. Just walking the hands all the way back down now, releasing the head and the shoulders down, bending that left knee, bringing that left foot back onto the floor. Coming into our half happy baby as we take hold of the outside edge of that right foot or the right ankle, drawing that right knee down towards the right armpit. So make sure you're not lifting that left hip bone, you're really grounding down to that left hip. Place the left hand on there if that feels good. We'll take a couple of breaths here. Lovely, and then when you're ready, just bringing that right ankle to rest on the left knee, coming back into our eye of the needle pose, interlacing the fingers at the back of that left thigh, or again, an option to bring the hands and interlace the fingers at the front of the left shin. Just taking whichever option feels good for you. Just relaxing the jaws here, softening the face. And as you exhale, just releasing the hands, releasing that left foot down, keeping the legs where they are. Left hand on right knee, drawing that knee across the body back into your lying down twist on the other side. Bringing that right arm out in line with that right shoulder. Bringing your gaze towards that right thumb. Just allowing the whole of your body just to let go. And just taking 2 more breaths here. When you're ready, coming all the way back to center, just releasing the feet down onto the floor now, and just releasing the legs, getting yourselves nice and comfy for your final relaxation pose of Shavasana. Just allow the feet to fall out to the sides, enjoying this nice neutral resting pose. Just letting go now of any sense of effort. Just beginning to slowly bring your awareness back to the space. Beginning to take in the sounds around you. Bringing some gentle movements back into the fingertips and toes. Taking any stretches that feel nice for your body. And then when you're ready, slowly making your way back to a seated position. We'll bring the palms of the hands together at heart center and we'll take 3 inhales through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. Nice deep inhale. Nice deep inhale. And last inhale. Just taking a moment to come back to your Sankalpa, the intention you set at the beginning of your practice. Taking a moment to honour this Sankalpa. Maybe it's something that you want to take off the mat as well. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. Thanks guys. I hope those hips are feeling really good. Mine are. I feel a lot better. So I hope yours do too. Enjoy the rest of your week and see you guys again soon. Thanks so much.